How do the days on the market vary by property type?
That's a good question. So, well, we certainly got spoiled over the last couple of years. I mean, I remember soon after the COVID epidemic, and when everything was crazy, or whatever, agents would, if a house was on the market for a week, people would say, "What's wrong with it?" And I was just like, "Come on now, seriously?" I mean, that was one of the most shocking things. There's got to be something wrong with this house because it's been on the market for 7 days. Yeah, so residential is the quick thing. Probably in this area right now, we've gone up quite a bit. I mean, like I said, it was a few years ago. It was at 7 days was average. Last year we were probably in the mid to high 20s. We're probably pretty close to. I mean, depending on the house, between 45 and 60. I think if you did all average days on the market in Chatham, we're probably closer to 60, and that's because stuff toward the lake is a little bit quicker, and stuff in the southwest is a little bit slower. But on average, we're about 2 months. You know, one of the best barometers that we can have as far as the market is concerned is the 6 month. So the historical average since World War II for days on the market for a house, normal residential, was 6 months. Not only has that been the average, but that seems to be like the variable that if stuff is selling quicker than 6 months, you're in an appreciating market, and if stuff is taking longer than 6 months, you're in a depreciating market. So here we are, let's just say for the sake of argument, we're averaging 60 days. Well, people are spoiled. They're like, what's wrong? I mean, 60 days, they just think that that's so much different from how quickly we got spoiled. But that still is indicative of everybody wants it to be a buyer's market. It is definitely not a buyer's market. It is still a seller's market. Sellers might be too aggressive. Sellers might have high expectations, but there's still very, very little inventory. And so that shortage of inventory, some sellers are too aggressive, but overall prices are still high. So with 60 days average days on the market, prices are still not going down. Prices are still going up. I just looked at the Triangle MLS data, and people are like, "Oh, things are taking longer to sell. Prices must be going down." April 2025 prices are above January 2025 prices. So we're still seeing prices increase. It's not the 5 to 10% that we had a couple years ago. It's probably the 1 to 2.5, maybe 1 to 3% appreciation. But less than 6 months, prices are still going up. So that's your residential. Then we have raw land, and raw land has a historical average of almost 800 days on the market. That is the historical average. Land is great value, like it holds its value and it appreciates steadily, but it doesn't have liquidity, and it's hard to dump it quickly. It's very difficult to get a land loan. People, you sell a piece of land for $200,000, someone has to have $200,000 free and available to them, and they have to want to buy your land. So it's a very, very rare situation. During the COVIDs and the short market, the land was selling really, really quick. We're probably just over a year average days on the market now for raw land or a larger piece of land. The bigger, more expensive the land is, usually the more days on the market. I specialize in something called entitlement contingency contracts. Those are contracts that are contingent upon the buyer converting it, rezoning it, and that itself can take 12 to 18 months. So that's an accumulation of days on the market. But and then you have something in between. We have homes with acreage. It's not going to take as long as raw land, but it's certainly not going to sell as quickly as a normal cute little cul-de-sac on a quarter acre. So that's in between. Those are probably in the 150 range days on market. Of course, if it has more land, it's going to take longer. If it has less land, it's going to take fewer. And then the commercial. The commercial is all over the place right now. We've had some commercial sell really well and very quickly. We've had some take a lot longer to sell. Commercial interest rates are horrible right now. And so, we're dealing with a lot of speculative buyers. The commercial rental rates aren't really good right now. The office occupancy vacancy rate is really high. So, some of the interest rates on commercial lending right are between 8 and 10%. So that's a lot higher than what you see on residential. So we're having some commercial accumulate days on the market. We're probably on average we probably are right now in this market an average of 6 months on the market. You'll see that there's I have 3, 4 of them. There's probably a total of 10 commercial properties for sale in the real close to the downtown Pittsburgh area, and they all have a decent amount of days on the market. We've had some successes, we've had some good closings, but commercial is probably above homes with acreage, but below raw land. That we're in that situation right now. So a lot of residential agents will call me on my land, and they'll be like, "What's wrong with it? It's been on the market 4 months." I was like, "Yeah, it's land." I mean, I've literally sold over a dozen pieces of land that have had 5 years on the market or more, and they're not always with me for 5 years. Sometimes they go from broker to broker to broker. And the land game, sometimes it's better to be second than first because either the market catches up or the seller lowers their expectation, or we just market it differently. But it's very important for consumers, buyers, and agents representing buyers that don't get so hung up on days on the market. It depends on the property type.